Hey everybody, I'm back with more miniatures from Wrath of Ashardalon. I'm actually getting close to being finished with the monsters, both the singletons, individual monsters, and the ones in pairs, and triplets I should say, not really pairs. I've really just got one more group of 3 to do, and then I'm on to doing the couple of evil champions that they have, so I think that's 3 or 4 miniatures, and then just the heroes, and then Ashardalon himself, and then I'm done with the whole set. So it's actually coming to a close pretty quick, and then I will be moving on to other things. And so today I actually have the, I'm going to pronounce this here, the Otyugh. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Otyugh. And also the these are the Legion Devils. So I'll actually put at the end of the video the actual sequence of and how I did it, as far as the different paints and things. To start, here's the Otyugh. I did research this a little bit and look at how other people painted these. I wanted to go for a bit of a natural look. It's funny considering how unnatural this thing looks, but my understanding is just sort of like a cave-dwelling monster that happens to eat dung and is covered in dung, usually is what it said in the description. I used Agrax Earth Shade over the model, not Quick Shade, to give it the definition. I also used a little bit, and I don't show it in the video because it didn't have as much of an effect. Sorry, I just pulled my backdrop here. Wasn't going to talk about this, but I guess I will. I used some of this burnt umber from Vallejo Pigments with isopropyl alcohol to fix it, and I just put it really here, along here, just to dirty it a bit, and along the feet. And it did darken it a little bit, but I didn't heavily cake it on, so it added a very mild effect to the Agrax Earth Shade, so I didn't even really put it, and you might see it a little bit more right there. I didn't really put it in my directions as to what I did, because I don't think that, compared to other things where I've used these pigments, I didn't cake it on heavily enough to, it didn't show as prominent an effect. When doing these sort of tentacles with these kind of teeth on them, I ended up doing a number of layers where I just did brown, and then like a darker brown, and then a white on it, to sort of come to that graduation of color from dark to light at the tips. And so I'll just do a bit of a spin around here just to show him. I'll go a bit closer. He's big enough that I might have to move him around a bit to really show him when I get in close, but I was thinking about getting one of these. I did paint these individually to make them a bit darker. I was thinking about getting one of these miniature display things for the channel, but I've been kind of lazy and not spent the 20 bucks and ordered one of these mirrored spinning devices, so my stubby fingers get in the way when I show the video. I'm just gonna okay, so that is the Otyugh. I actually like this. I liked how this miniature came out. I quite liked it. I like this. It definitely looks like a bit of a monstrosity, and something that if it ran out of a cave at a couple, like a wizard and a couple of knights, fighters, rogues, I could see them kind of freaking out. So, all right. The next one is the Legion Devil. And it's funny, this one's a pretty easy name. You'd think it's an easy name to remember, but I don't remember playing these exact things when I played D&D. I do remember the demons and the devils from Dungeons and Dragons, and one of the things that's funny is these are, as I said in another video of mine, the things that made the general public in the 1980s like warn parents that kids shouldn't play Dungeons and Dragons because of the devils and demons. And so from what I read, these are likely, quickly read, they're just sort of lower tier devils, they're not like named personalities or really high ranking devils, but at the same time they still come from another plane and are in a sense kind of a royal enemy. And so what I ended up doing, and I'm just going to focus on one of them, my interpretation and what I did with this guy is, I'll just focus on this piece of it, is I did do an airbrush blend on the sword, and so I have a gold here with a bit of a highlight of gold on the handle, and I have a red to orange blend on this sword, and that was mainly just to give the impression of it being, kind of magical, from a creature from another plane. I haven't done any card review of these guys, like I'm new to the game. From what I've seen on other people's channels, they're actually in the Ashardalon board game a bit of a pain in the butt. And so, being that they are devils and everything, I kind of tried to reflect them kind of well and giving them some nasty weapon. There's no quick shade on this guy. I used just Nuln Oil. I did like dry brushing to show this brown over the top of the black, as you'll see when I show the materials that I used as well. There's a dark gray that I used to dry brush over the black armor just to give it, like I have this fluorescent overhead, which is always challenging. I probably should change it to show some of the detail, but if you can see there some of the lightning, that's actually just that gray. Yeah, and so basically Nuln Oil on the face and just a bit of dry brushing there, just showing the face to highlight it a bit more. Let's see if I can get in a bit closer. Okay. In order to get some of the detail on the face, I just did some dry brushing on the end there. So it's a bit of a combination of Nuln Oil to show the definition and the dry brushing. So yeah, overall, pretty happy also how this guy came out. That's kind of a good close-up. I'd never be able to do this with my old camera. And so yeah, I kind of like him. He looks pretty sinister to me. Now I will show the individual steps, how I did these guys. And next up, I usually don't do this, but since I have them primed in front of me, I've got Grells as my last 3 creatures, I believe, that I'll be doing to finish this game. Another monstrosity kind of creature. And so, thanks to everybody for watching. And if you have any questions, I did get a question recently on how I did something. I believe it was how I primed or something, and on a prior video. If you have any questions on anything that I'm doing besides just seeing the paints that I use at the end, I'm more than happy to talk about that. I hadn't had a lot of them in the past, and so that's why I've been streamlining the videos a bit. Okay, talk to you later, everybody. Bye.